In the Scorched Enclave, you have three armies smashing against each other over the ruins of bunkers. Exosuits. Powered armor. Sniper teams. And cyborg zombies are but the beginning of what you could face. You got 10 rounds of 5.56 and 5 shotgun shells to deal with all of that. This is how you make it out alive.
Pet your dog goodbye, and let's get started. Hey, don't slobber the eye. To start our run, we'll have to choose from 3 entrances. The cemetery is the first location. It's one of my favorites. You get a clear view of what's going on, so take a moment to see what units are coming up the road. The Rat King and other big quest bosses will spawn out there. The bunker down in the valley to the lower right will spawn the Euruskin boss if you have that quest. Other quest targets spawn around the middle area and then tend to wander around. But wait a minute, before you even get that far, you might also find a gocha box here. Or there. They did a much better job of scattering the locations for the gocha boxes across the map. The first bunker usually has an ammo box where you vault the wall. On the far end there can be a medical box for supplies and a lockbox or explosives there. This is a good starting location to load up on what you need for the rest of the map, or find a lucky gocha box and run for the extraction. From here you can go down the hill to the middle bunker. There is water, lockboxes, and gun parts inside. Opening the door makes a lot of noise, so make sure everyone you see is busy fighting before you hack the lock. You don't want them to come investigate. This is the second starting location. It is across the road from the rest of the map, so you'll have to cross it. The road always has big units traveling on it, so take a moment to check what's coming. Tanks will ignore you, so you can ignore them too. Exosuits are assholes and delight in shooting scavs if they catch sight of you, so wait for them to pass, or wait until they're occupied in a fight. Units on the road will tend to linger in the middle, forcing you to either go left or right. If you go right, you'll wind up back at the cemetery start location. If you go left, you'll wind up at the bunker start location. The downside is extractions on the side of a hill, and always draws enemies when you start the timer. This is the third location. Once unlocked, you will start on the opposite side of the map from the cemetery. From here you have access to multiple bunkers. They have ammo, storage boxes, lock boxes, but you will need to reach the middle of the map to find medical supplies. You can find gocha boxes around here on the hillsides or the ravines, but they will sometimes spawn inside of bunkers or inside of the cliffs. If you can't reach them, just keep moving. There are less large patrols on this side of the map, but you are more likely to run into sniper teams or exos, so don't let your guard down.
A day well spent.
The Scorched Enclaves are a great map for collecting water and gocha boxes. If you need water, the best spot is the locked bunker in the middle of the map. It sits down the slope from the cemetery and cliff starts, but the bunker start requires going through soldiers heading toward the middle. Usually you can find 3 or more water and plenty of lockboxes and explosives if you need the money. If you go straight out the door toward the lit up bunkers, you will find water and medical supplies, both inside and outside. You will also find smaller quest bosses as well as prisoners if you took those quests. The gocha box is the big prize of the map. It contains guns, large gear like jump packs, ammo, and more. So anytime I find one, I almost always head for extraction. It can spawn anywhere on the map, but it is almost always out in the open. Look for a lone loot marker, not near anything else. Soldiers tend to drop 2 markers, their pack and gun, and cyborgs travel in a big group, so they leave a big pile of markers. So a lone marker usually is worth a look. Always keep an eye on reaching your extraction point. If things get heated or your rig is full, head there at your best possible speed. If you came in through the cemetery, then your extraction is a pipe across the road from the burning exo. There will always be some units there fighting around the end of the pipe, so just make sure they are busy with someone else to make your run. If there are tanks there, you can ignore them. If you're feeling lucky, you can just let the rig take the hits. Just make sure you're not carrying explosives. If you came from the bunker, then you're going to do the opposite run toward the cemetery side of the map. Again, it's the pipe extraction, so you'll need to get across the road. There will be some units around the area. They are almost always loitering, so reaching the pipe without getting shot requires patience and timing. The cliff start requires going up a hill to light a flare. The problem with this is that you got a minute before you can escape. Once you start that timer, cyborgs will swarm off the cliffs and any other units below you will come up to see what the fuss is about. The best tactic is to activate the flare and book it. Then wait for the factions to get in a fight or wander off to make you run back. This extraction requires timing to make sure the European troops are still around to deal with the Eurasian troops coming off the hills. If you are really unlucky, when you emerge from the innards, you will find an ash wasteland piled high with the dead. The only ones foolish enough to brave the fallout are Eurasian cyborgs and you. With no one to fight, they will swarm any noise, so stealth and speed are paramount. Don't use your gun. If you have to fight, it's feet or fist, so charge them fast and start swinging. If you're really unlucky, there will be bigger units lurking among the bunkers. The best tactic is to just get to extraction as fast as you can sneak past. Keep moving and loot what you can. You never know when another patrol will show up. That's a brawler. That's instant death, so just run as fast as possible. Get terrain between you and him, and if you can, escape. They don't give up the chase easy, so don't linger. Keep moving.
Must take a moment to appreciate the good things. In good times and bad, the city shows its true face.
No matter how bad the situation is, never pass up a chance for good loot. It makes the whole trip worth it.
Peace through discovery.
This time I got lucky. Sometimes there's much bigger things out here. That's all there is for this chapter. May the Rat King bless you.